Welcome back to MMA Sucka Fight fans. My name's Nate Freeman. I'm joined today by Joshua Weems, who's fighting for the Fury FC bantamweight title at Fury FC 65 on June 26th. Joshua, how you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great, man. In between training sessions right now. I appreciate you having me on, Nate.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be talking to you. You're at Jackson Wink. You're in Albuquerque. Is this how long have you been there actually? Because I just found that out pretty recently.
I've been here for about 5 days now. I'll fly back out on Friday, this coming up Friday, so I can get back home and just basically have the week to cut weight and, basically just rest the body and cut the weight. That's it, man. I've done all the work and yeah.
Yeah, is this your first time going over there and training with them?
It's actually my third trip. I got ready for them. Actually, I came here right before the Contender Series, but I actually didn't. It was like I said, I got that Contender Series call in like 12-day notice, so we were just there leveling up. I had a fight like in the works anyway, so we went there. Ended up getting a call to the Contender. So and I made some good. The coaches, basically took to me good. I love the way they coach. They have 6 different coaches. They had some really, really good wrestlers. So, after the Contender Series loss, I wanted to up my cage work. We don't have a cage at our home school. We do have a place we can go travel to about an hour away, but we don't get there together like we should as a team. So I try to get my cage work in and just getting some different ideas and tricks for this wrestler I got coming up.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of the cage work, did you realize when you went to Jackson Wink and all of that, how much of a difference that made in your game? Like how much actually getting time to practice with a cage, how much of a difference that made?
I would say the biggest thing is the wrestling part mixed in with jujitsu. It's I'm pretty as far as my striking. We have a smaller area that we do it in to kind of simulate a smaller area, but yeah, it's a completely different ball game with the wrestling and the jujitsu, especially like getting up, wrestling defense, stuff like that. Like when your head's against the cage, it's a completely different obstacle to get up. So the last 3 trips, that's something that I've really honed in on is the wrestling defense and some of the transitions from wrestling to jits. Because I'm a really, I like to call myself a good jujitsu guy. I'm not the best wrestler, which I'm getting better. I'm just not your kind of collegiate wrestler or smell the crotch wrestler. And I have all the respect for those kind of guys as long as they can make it an action-packed fight too. But man, I'm just not the. I'm getting better there, is what I'm saying. I'm more of the putting the punches behind body lock, stuff like that. I'm just not the double leg blast kind of guy. I'm, single legs. I'm mainly trying to make sure. I want to be like Jose Aldo. I want to keep the fight on the feet for the fans, get some takedown defense. If I feel uncomfortable, take them down. Because I love jujitsu as well, but I want to show off some stuff I haven't gotten to show in some of my fights, and so I'd like to defend this guy's takedowns. And he's an all around fighter, so I think if I can defend his takedowns, he's going to say, okay, I'm not going to overwork myself in this 5-round fight. Let's try to strike with this guy, and I think that'll be his demise. That's what I'm hoping for. But I'm definitely prepared to wrestle for 5 rounds if need be.
Yeah, you're facing Mo Miller, who is, like you said, a standout wrestler who will be looking to get this fight to the ground more than likely, more often than not. And, you've won 7 out of your 9 MMA fights by submission. So I would assume that you're not necessarily looking and going to be happy that it's on the ground. Like you said, you want to keep it on the feet, but you are more than comfortable fighting off your back, I would assume.
That's right. That's right. Just like I said about in the last fight for Tiago, if he wants to do jujitsu, let's do jujitsu. I'm gonna beat him up while we do it. If he wants to wrestle, we can wrestle. I'm gonna make it ugly. If he wants to strike, that's just gonna be it's not gonna be a good answer for him. I think he's got a couple tools that he's had in his last fights on the feet that I need to watch for. But obviously, you get better in between fights, man. I know that. I'm expecting the best, man. So yeah, dude, I'm not really worried about the ground. like I said, don't want to overwork myself defending. But I ain't going down like no punk. So we're gonna fight, and if he strong early, we go to the ground. We're gonna see some jujitsu because I've been really working that, and man, I'm a scrambler, and I know the kryptonite to wrestler is a scrambling jujitsu guy. So I really think I'm going to be his toughest test, and I think he will be mine. So I'm more motivated than I've ever been, dude. I'm super excited. I know that this guy's, he's got eyes on him. He's already won a Contender Series fight. I lost my Contender Series fight. Yeah, I beat Tiago, but I made it to the top level and I choked or I got caught. That's why we love this sport. One mistake, you can get caught. I think I proved a little bit that I belong by beating a top guy like Tiago. But whenever I can beat a guy like Mo Miller that's already been to Contender Series, he's gotten the nod, just didn't do enough action to win, to get signed. I think, more eyes are on him in this fight, and I'm looking to steal the show. I'm looking to come out there and really dictate the pace and land some cool ninja stuff, as Diaz would call it.
Absolutely, yeah. And you were talking about your last fight, which was an interim title fight in B2 against Tiago Bello.
Yep.
That was a 5-round fight, obviously. What confidence does that give you having the 5-round experience and going the full 5 rounds with the cardio and all of that?
Well, so I have not. I finished that fight in the first round. I got the armbar on Tiago.
Yes. I just said the
Yeah,
7
it's
of
all
9
good.
submissions. Yes.
Yeah. So what I've looked and noticed is neither one of us has ever fought 5 rounds. Actually, funny thing is we've in MMA we've both only went the distance twice. So in our professional career. So we've both got about the same amount of minutes in the cage as far as that goes. I actually think I finished faster opponents or basically I've had shorter work, but I'll say he's had tougher fights. That's why I left first round management. Or one of the reasons is I had to talk them into letting me fight hard guys. It's, I need my management to believe in me and believe that I can win these tough fights. I need to prove to myself and my family before I make it to the UFC that, I belong, man. And when I can keep beating these guys, man, and especially the way I plan on doing it, I just think that I'm going to get the call, man. I'm only 28, dude. So I'm, and I feel like I'm in the best mindset of my life, physical condition, learning curve. Again, traveling to get these different looks from Aaron Pico, Damon Blackshear, Jordan Burkholder, just these different athletes out here. I could probably, if I could think about it for a minute, I could name plenty more at this gym, but that's just the training partners. And then the coaches that, so much attention to detail. And then I got an awesome small gym at home. Like there might only be 6 pro fighters, but dude, we all pour into each other. Once one of us lose, we all lose, man. We go back and we really try to correct some things. And one of our best fighters, Jonathan Jackson, he's lost twice recently to wrestling. So just so happens the past 6 months, we've been really working on wrestling defense. So I get to call against a wrestler. All makes sense to me. So stars aligned, man. And I feel like this is going to be a great opportunity for me to show, Dana or whoever else is watching that I belong at that top tier, or at least to show that I belong there.
Yeah, and like you said, you're not only in the main event for a promotion that already gets a lot of eyes. It's on UFC Fight Pass and all of that. But you're facing a guy, like you said, that won on the Contender Series. And before that, he had one of the knockouts of the year with that slam KO in LFA. So, yeah, like you said, there's going to be a lot of eyes on this fight. And I think that with a win, that gets you a good opportunity to either, move up and fight on the Contender Series or even get yourself a UFC contract at some point.
Yep, and that's what we're hoping, man. We're hoping a good performance. We get us a short notice call, even better, obviously getting some time to prepare for it, or get the Contender Series call again. I'm cool with any of them, man. Like I said, this is going to open up some doors for me. Could have sat around and waited a little longer, but I don't want to. I'm 9-2. I feel like putting me at 10-2, a good finish over 2 good guys. I feel like it's going to really shine some light on my side. That's all. If it doesn't get me there this time, I'll defend the belt or do whatever needs to be done.
Yeah, for sure. So talking about going back to Jackson Wink again, is that something that you're considering potentially moving out to Albuquerque and doing your full training camps there at some point? Or are you still focused on staying in Jackson with Black Cells and keeping with them?
Black Cells will always be my number one team. My coach, Johnny Little, he's like a father to me. He puts so much time. I mean, what these gyms do with 6 coaches, my coach does by himself, or he tries. We have affiliate gyms where we have a jiu-jitsu coach here. We have a judo and jiu-jitsu coach here, a Thai coach, but we don't get to see them every night. We have one MMA coach, and we have to branch out and go to these different locations to get this different look. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It would be smart for me to, go move away. My thing is we've got some great fighters in Mississippi. We've had several guys get to the UFC, get cut. This is another reason I want to take these tests before I get to the UFC. I don't want to be that guy. I want to get to the UFC. I want to stay. But what I've been talking to my wife about, and I got an awesome wife, Megan Sullivan. I keep calling her Megan Sullivan because she's on Facebook as that. Megan Weems. We've been married for 7 years. I don't know why it's on Facebook like that. But Megan Weems, she super mom, man. She runs her own little cleaning business. We have 2 kids. She makes all of it possible. It's actually my fault that I can't stay away for longer than 10 days. I have a daughter who's 11 years old. I don't know if you have kids, but I got to be there for my daughter. She needs to see a good influence, a good man in her life. She's at that critical age right now, got a 6-year-old boy, but boys, they could be tough, love them to death. There's no favoritism, but for a man and his daughter, he needs to be there for her. And it's hard for me to stay gone too long, but I think I'm going to get to the point to where I can spend so if I have an 8-week camp, I'm going to spend what me and my wife have been talking about is maybe spend 2 to right at 3 weeks. I'm going to try to do it if my heart can take it away from my kids that long. But I know it's for what is going to set me up in the future. So I have to keep that in mind. It's just, man, they grow up so fast. So it's hard. I'm a sucker. So what I want to try to do for this next camp is 3 weeks here, 2 weeks back home, and then the last bit back here, and then just fly back, make the weight, and go to the fight. So I would like to get to where I'm spending, at least 4 weeks out of the 8 weeks here. I would like to spend 5 to 6, but right now I'm not great with the whole social media following thing. So I don't have a ton of sponsors helping pay for all this, which I do have some awesome sponsors I'm about to give a shout out to. But this isn't something you get paid a whole lot for, man. I'm not making much, and I got to spend a good bit of money for traveling and flight and nutrition and cutting the weight, just food, just everything, training equipment. You tweak a shoulder, a knee, whatever, you got to pay to rehab it. Just there's different little things that people don't notice that goes into these things. And man, it's not easy, that's why I have a paint company and do that on the side. Outside of my actual camps. That's what I try to focus on my money, my painting then, but also still training at the same time. So it's just, it's hard. It'd be hard for me to move out here, just completely. So yeah, man, just trying to make the most of it and soak it all in while I'm here. Even if I get 2 weeks, man, I get 2 weeks and I'm gonna soak it all in. And man, I had a huge confidence about me in my last fight, knowing that I had, gotten some wrestling work in with Aaron Pico, some striking in with him, different things like those things. Fighters, they ride off confidence, man, and walking out to the cage knowing like, bro, I've done the homework, man. I paid my bills early. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing I can do except for come out here and be me, and it takes a lot of pressure off of you. And, that's just it, man. I'm not going to go out here and question, did I wrestle enough this camp? Did I do enough wrestling defense? Am I ready for 5 rounds? None of that's going to be in my mind. You're just going to see a super focused Josh wide open Weems when that bell rings until if he makes it to the end of that 5th, man. And I'm excited, man. I am. I think this is the most I've been excited for because I've had a long time to get prepared. 5 weeks is plenty of time as far as to really wrap your mind around what's going on. I would say Contender Series was that, but it was just so hard to really soak it all in a 10-day, 12-day notice. This, 5 weeks, Fight Pass. I know what kind of doors this is going to open. So it's motivated me every morning, every lunch session. You know, every time I get tired, I think about what's at stake, and man, it's making me push harder than I ever have. And I know my kids are going to be there in the crowd for this one, and I'm ready, man. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'll fight that way, man. I'm super excited, man. So.
Yeah, you have a very fan-friendly style of fighting. We're super excited to see you. And, you know, you did mention that you have a daughter that's 11, so she's about to start junior high. Oh my goodness.
She keeps saying that. She
Middle
keeps
school
reminding me.
girls are just insane. So I do not, you know, I do not envy you one bit.
Yeah. Well,
But
she's raised by an awesome mom. We don't let her get on social media, nothing like that. So she's got great influences in her life. She's in the gym. She does jujitsu. Man, she's. I couldn't ask for anything better, to be honest. So we're just gonna continue to guide them in the right way. But yeah, middle school can be rough, man. Middle school all the way up, you know.
yeah, for sure. I do not want to go back to those times. I know that you have her in the gym for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Do you, in the back of your mind, want her to consider pursuing MMA at some point, or is that's a no-go?
If she wants to, I'll be behind her every step of the way. But I fought on the same night as she did a jiu-jitsu match a couple times, and you know, man, it's a lot of pressure on me as a dad, like just jujitsu. So I can only imagine this beast of a woman trying to elbow my daughter up and do all these other things. I would just, you know, I think it would take some years away from me, so I'm not going to be push her to it. But if she wants to do it, I'm behind her all the way. That's anything she wants to do. I think she wants to be an orthodontist. Is what she wants to do right now. She's got braces and you know doing the whole teeth thing. She takes care of them religiously. But she's very, very responsible. But yeah, I mean, I would love for her to do more striking because everything starts on the feet. But she, you know, her jujitsu, she enjoys it. She's got great kicks. She just don't like to do the punching and watching punches and slipping things and punch block defense, which is super important if you're going to do anything live fire. You can't just drill. You have to actually do the stuff live fire for it to actually you believe in it and it works. So yeah, no, I'm gonna push her away from it, but you know if she wants to, yeah, I'm behind her, man.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, going back, go back to Jackson Wink again. Was there anybody when you walked in for the first time that you saw that you were like starstruck by, like, oh my goodness, that's Carlos Condit, that's John Jones when he was there? Was there anybody that you were like, oh wow, this is
Actually, it was crazy. Like our first time in, John Jones was there, Holly Holm, Michelle Watterson, and then John Dotson. The next day comes in at the same time during wrestling practice as all the other fighters as well. It was like I think the women weren't there for that. Oh, and there was Clarissa Shields. She was really humble, really awesome. You know, she's a boxer, switched to MMA. Now she went back to boxing, but she's the goat of boxing, women's boxing. So yeah, probably man, if I'd have seen Carlos Condit, that's out of all those people, Carlos Condit is one of my favorite fighters, the style and all that. But I don't think he's been around for a while as far as back in that gym. But yeah, man, it was definitely surreal to see John Jones, see the size of the guy, um, and see like Aaron Pico. I've always been a huge fan of Aaron Pico. The dude's got a nasty liver shot, so he was actually another one that like I got starstruck over because I really wanted to work with him. Him being a weight class above me, he's just super skilled everywhere, and yeah, so. There was a couple of them, definitely, man. And like I said, again, it's the coaches, man. The coaches, there's so many of them. They can be so attention to detail, help change different things, give you an idea if you don't like it, whatever. So yeah, man, I've stole a lot of tricks from their coaches and their fighters, man. I'm a kicker, and they got a lot of cool tricks to hide stuff and different things like that. So I've been soaking it all in. But my main thing is wrestling, man. Wrestling and wrestling defense. That's been really on my mind the whole 3 trips because we don't have a whole lot of wrestling in Mississippi. So got to get it when you can.
Yeah, the whole Southeast is It's growing in wrestling, but
It is.
I'm from Alabama, and we have a couple of folks that are starting to do well with wrestling and all of that. But we're growing, and we're trying to
Play
get to
catch
where
up.
all the other states are. It's same with Mississippi and all of that. Yeah.
Yep.
You mentioned Aaron Pico and his liver shot, and my ribs are just hurting just thinking about that. Have you taken one of those liver shots full on? Or
Actually, I have not. I think I sparred him twice. Um, I was so worried about the liver shot. I was staying at bay, running my kicks, so worried about the liver shot. And I never knew that Aaron Pico was a great wrestler because he knocked everybody out whenever the first trip we came. That was his highlights on knockouts. This dude catches one of my kicks like the second time I kicked him, third time I kicked him, and catches it and never lets me back up, man. I mean, just wet blanket, elbows, I mean, I held my own, we were doing some jujitsu. Don't get me wrong, but I couldn't get up. And then next day, like I said, was wrestling, and it made me feel a lot better because after wrestling class, well, Pico was the demonstration. He was like basically, under the coach. Well, I see Pico literally throwing 200-pound dudes around. Like, I mean, crazy. His snatch down, the double leg, like he is just his transitions. The jujitsu, I felt like I do pretty good, but like I said, his wrestling and his jujitsu is good too. But when he gets you down, man, that's. I mean, the transition, you ain't like you can try to get up, make some space to get up, but he's not going to just force anything. He's just going to transition. He's going to take you back. He's going to do these. So I've learned a lot going with guys of that caliber for sure.
yeah, well, we're excited to see it all get put to the test next Sunday,
Yeah.
the 26th on Fury FC 65 in the main event for the bantamweight title against Mo Miller. Before I let you go, Josh, I know you got a list of sponsors. You wrote them down before we started. Go ahead and read that off for us and tell us how fans can follow you on social media.
So yeah, man. Social media, it's Wide Open Weems 12 on Instagram, and then Facebook is just Joshua Wide Open Weems. Definitely follow me. I'm lacking some followers, so help your boy out. I'm trying to get better at posting things. Kiana, my good friend Kiana Henry, she does all my social media stuff, so shout out to her. But yeah, so Black Sails MMA first and foremost, Killer Bees Jiu Jitsu. That's my MMA team, and we're family there, man. We have a coach, Nick Jones, from Grapple. He's literally the newest level of jiu-jitsu. He sponsored me for this fight. He actually sponsors me every fight. He lets us come train in his gym whenever, offers us unlimited amount of just the highest level of stuff, man. You can go to a lot of jiu-jitsu schools and they hold back on teaching you stuff. He does not. He's so excited about teaching you everything. You got Primal Jiu-Jitsu and MMA. That's out in Forest. It's about Forest, Mississippi. It's about 40 minutes away from where I train, so I don't get to go out there as much as I want. But they got an awesome facility, awesome coaches. Those two owners, Caleb Harris and Dustin DePuma, are also pro fighters, and they help me for all my fights. I help them. They come to Black Cells all the time. They just own their own gym as well.
Shout out to Caleb Harris, BKFC recent title challenger. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the man. I love Caleb Harris, man. He is the epitome of a fighter for sure, man. Wes Hawkins, he owns a business in Jackson, Mississippi, Glass Plus LLC. Does residential, commercial glass. He's super cool dude. Always into MMA. Goes to all the MMA shows, the bare knuckle shows. Super cool guy, man. His son is in Taekwondo. They're just a really, really cool family, and they're always supporting me. So appreciate that. Iconic Barber Lounge, Raymond Carver. He actually has a mobile barber, a big old nice van. You can stand up in it. It's super ball. And he comes, cuts me and my son up. So shout out to Raymond. We got my chiropractor, Clayton Pitts with Norville Chiropractic Clinic. They also known as Prehab, soft tissue, and muscle repair. They do it all, man. They got a great team. So they've literally supported me, I think, the longest. They besides my actual team, they've always given me free work. He's actually actively in jiu-jitsu and does all kind of different stuff. So Clayton's awesome help of mine during these camps. And then we got Derek, man, Derek Cumberland. he is a sports massage guy. He does a little bit more than that. I mean, he's really a chiropractor too. But I go to Clayton for my chiropractic needs, and he does my just helping me get limber before my fights, getting all these knots worked out, different things like that. His page is Total Body Performance. It's on Facebook. Give it a follow. But yeah, man, I think that's it, dude. And also Jonathan Burnett out here at Jackson Wink, my good friend. He's freaking letting me stay at his place, making it a lot cheaper on me, giving me rides back and forth to the gym 3 times a day. Well, now I got his car because I got to go. I literally went 3 times today. I'm going back at 6. So, man, just big shout out to everybody I just named, my friends and family. Just the sponsor thing's huge, man, with fighters. We don't get paid much. So without you guys, man, I wouldn't even be here right now, man. So they paid for my flight. Grapple paid for my flight. Got where I had a couple private hours. It's been good, man. I'm blessed. Got a good support system, and it just puts a lot of things off my back and lets me really train and focus on the fight, man. So I really appreciate that, and I appreciate you too, Nate, for having me on. And hopefully this won't be our last time you get me on after I get this belt.
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely follow up when you win. If you win, I should say.
That's
just
right.
because
Yeah, 1 versus 1, man. Everything.
Yeah.
Look, that's why we love the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for joining me today. I'm really excited to watch your fight, and best of luck to you.
Thank you a lot, man. I really appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. Take care.
All right.